What's going on, everyone? Chris here with Clutter Reduction Junk Removal, and this morning we went ahead and did a junk removal for somebody who was referred to me by a realtor who uses me on a repetitive basis, and it was just picking up a queen-size bed, mattress frame, a 6-foot oval glass table, luckily not too heavy because I had my fiance with me, and then a couple of cast iron chairs. Basically, it was a quarter of a load plus a little bit because of the elevators. But that went by pretty quickly. And then while we were out in that area, I got a phone call from somebody who is the owner of a gas station, and they sent me 26 pictures and said that we need to get as much of this out of the way as possible, as soon as possible, except for the big bulk pile of wood behind the shed, a bunch of tires that another company's coming to get, and then these huge like air cylinders that are used for like propane and stuff, because I was like, yeah, I'm not touching those anyways. So this is my first time having like some sort of like gas station or convenience store call me up before. So I'll show you guys that job when we get there, and hopefully it's something we can maybe do on a repetitive basis, because he said the city flagged them for the stuff all around and they need to get that cleaned up ASAP. So this may be a situation where, because it's kind of closer to the beach, maybe it happens often. But we shall see. All right, so that job is done. It took us pretty much 2 hours because we spent like 15, 20 minutes going back and forth about what to take, what not to take. Those big plastic drum and then the tank they told us to leave behind. And then we ended up taking that blue thing like at the very end, the other oil drum, which is fine because I actually wanted it to use it for metal. So what I do is like whenever I get like trash cans that aren't good for like household use or for junk jobs, I drill holes in the bottom and then I use it to put all my metal in. So when it rains, it just drains out. And then I have something to just go pick up with a dolly and throw on my trailer versus having to load like 50 little small pieces when it comes to scrap day. So this job, I actually don't know how they found out about me. I'm going to assume it is Google because I can't think of any other way. But the owner of the gas station is the one that handled payment and the FaceTime. The guy there was just like the manager of the store, and he also gave us free Red Bull. So thank you very much. That's my favorite energy drink. And it was basically just cleaning up like the little side area of all the trash and debris, and then all the PVC pipes we had to basically just cut in half because they were like 20 feet long and 12-foot trailer. And then on the other side behind the dumpster, there was some pallet boards and some wood pieces. And then there's this big tarp that was full of dirt. And I was just going to just leave it there because I don't want to take dirt. But then I was like, if I leave it there, it's obvious. Like at least let me go ahead and trim it up. And every time I would do that, dirt kept falling out. So we ended up just dumping all the dirt out and then just brushing it over with our hands into that little flower bed where the bushes were. And then just swept it all off and, used the blower to get the rest. I went through 4 DeWalt batteries. 2 of them weren't charged very well. One of them was pretty much dead with the Sawzall. And then the real big massive one I have that I usually use for my power drill, like I had used like the last 3 days on other stuff. So by the time we got to that, it was pretty much dead. So luckily we got through the job with it, especially with the Sawzall part. Like when it died out on the blower, I just got the broom at that point. We also got a ton of metal. I'm anticipating that there's about 1,000 pounds of metal there at least. And some of it's aluminum. I'm not going to sit there and sort it all because last time I got disappointed. But I mean, overall, 50-ish% of the job was like wood and tree branches and PVC pipe and, just random trash. And then the other 50-ish% is metal. So we're going to dump on Monday morning and then run to the scrapyard immediately after. Hopefully that kind of helps even out the dump cost. And then, yeah, that's that. But that was my first like real commercial job. Like I've done commercial offices, but I've never gone to like a store or like a gas station or anything. So that was my first one. And it was $5.59 for pretty much the load. Towards the end, the manager, because I told them I don't take concrete, and they had a bunch of concrete papers. And I was like, well, I can put it like all off to the side in a nice neat pile so it doesn't look so bad. And that's what we were originally going to do. And then towards the end, the manager who gave us the Red Bulls, he was like, hey, can we just like throw it out in our dumpster and I'll just help you? I was like, sure. So I just threw the big bricks on the hand trucks and made 2 trips, just threw them in there myself. And then the last one was a big chunk with the cast iron pipe coming out of it. That thing was heavy. So he helped me with that. And I mean, realistically, it took me like 10 minutes. It wasn't like brutal. And I didn't have to charge any extra labor because it was a 2-hour job and full load. And actually in the beginning, I told him originally I would do it for $5.79. So basically, because my full load price is on the lower spectrum of 500, and I was like gonna tack in a little extra because it was construction debris, and I wasn't gonna half load my truck like I normally do. And I told him like it was gonna be $5.59, and for me it was basically just because there was debris in there, and I know I'm gonna get charged more at the dump. So and then I tacked on an extra $20 because we had to bounce around to like 3 little different spots within the gas station. So it was just like added time. And he was like, well, I got a guy who would do it for $4.50, but he wasn't going to be able to come out until Monday. And this guy called me today when we were in a different city doing that first job earlier. And he was like, I got a guy who could do it for $4.50. Can you do $500? And I was like, no. I was like, take it with the fact that we were here now and you don't have to worry about it anymore because today's Saturday. So I told him I would knock off the $20 for the extra labor, and I would do it for the 559. And he said okay. So all worked out in the end. Nice little ending to the day. We had that job in the morning, and that was 229. So I think that's 788 for the day. And the stuff from earlier, we just threw off on the side of the house real quick to go do this, which I'm glad I did, because in the pictures, it didn't look like a crazy amount. And he told me like those big plastic and things in the tank were going to stay. And I was like, oh, I might just be able to leave that stuff in there then. And I'm glad I took it out because I filled up the trailer. So not too shabby. Kind of fun, I guess, in a way. It wasn't bad enough of a gas station where like there was like needles and like condoms and like broken bottles everywhere. That would have been a little bit different story, because now you're poking around grabbing stuff that's a hazard. It was a little bit more just like brush and PVC pipe. If that was the case, though, I would have said, hey, I'm going to charge you a little extra for time because I'm not going to be as quick to grab stuff because I don't want to get poked to something, even with gloves on. I learned that a while back, not to push your luck with that, because it's all fun and games and you might make a few bucks here and there, and your client might, talk you into lowering your price $50 or whatever. But if you poke yourself with the wrong needle, you can have a really bad time for a while. So that's just something I kind of learned, but it didn't look like it was that kind of situation. So I don't think I would have gotten any more money out of him anyways, though. But that's it. We're going to head inside now. Hopefully we don't, well, I don't know what we're going to do if we get a call tomorrow. I mean, technically I'm going to take all the metal out right now and put it on the side yard, and then have to reload it all again. But I guess if we get a job, we can always just chuck everything on top, because it's kind of bed loaded the way it's set up right now. So we'll see what happens. But first time gas station, pretty good job. 2 hours on the dot. Not too strenuous. A lot of it was just lifting and chucking. So that's it for now.